What do you do with an Albedo, Xiangling, Kuki Shinobu, and Fischl? Here, let me show you. So this is like a cheaper variation of my so-called lazy team because you barely have to auto-attack with this team, which I find pretty fun to use. This team also only has one 5-star, which is Albedo, so newer players or players who recently pulled for Albedo can have something to work him around with. You literally don't have to normal attack with this team, so no more spam clicking your mouse, no more stubby and sore thumbs from pressing that controller or tapping that phone. This team is also pretty low cooldown and well-rounded with shields and heal for survivability. Although due to this team having electro and pyro units, this team can cause a lot of overloads. And I know some players don't like overload due to its annoying knockback effect when hitting smaller enemy units. So let's build this team. A reminder that these are my personal build suggestions and the performance can vary between our level differences as well as our artifact substats. For Albedo, the weapon would be Cinnabar Spindle, as this is Albedo's best in-slot weapon. You can also use Harbinger of Dawn as an alternative option. Artifacts would be 4-piece Husk of Opulent Dream set with Defense Sands, Geo Damage Goblet, and Crit Damage Circlet. Constellation can be 0, but the higher, the better. For talents, focus on Elemental Skill first, then Burst. For Xiangling, the weapon would be the Catch. It's free to play as long as you spend some time fishing for it, and is also one of the best polearms in the game. You can also use a Favonius Lance as an alternative option. For artifacts, go with a 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate set for an increased energy recharge as well as to further improve Xiangling's burst damage. You can also use a Noblesse Oblige set as an alternative option. Main stats would be Attack Sands, Pyro Damage Goblet, and Crit Damage Circlet. Constellation can be 0, but the higher the better. For talents, focus on Burst first, then Elemental Skill. For Kuki Shinobu, I gave her an Iron Sting for the Elemental Mastery stat, as we will be building her with as much EM as possible to give her reactions a good amount of damage, as well as better healing from her passive Heart's Repose. For artifacts, I went with a 2-piece Gilded Dreams and 2-piece Wanderer's Troop for the EM stats. Main stats would be Elemental Mastery on your Sands, Goblet, and Circlet. This set is also a pretty standard set for Kuki on Dendro Reaction Hyperbloom teams, so this is a good value set in terms of investment in my opinion. The 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith is also a good alternative set for her, so she can provide an attack buff for the team while her elemental skill is active. Constellations can be 0, but I strongly suggest at least C1 for the increased range on her elemental skill's AoE damage. For Fischl, I gave her a Stringless, as this weapon is absolutely amazing for Fischl, increasing the damage of her elemental skill and burst, making Oz a lethal turret. For alternatives, you can use other energy recharge bows, but I would really recommend Stringless for this one. Artifacts would be a 2-piece Thundering Fury for the electro damage and any 2-piece 18% attack piece, such as Gladiator, Shiminawa, Echoes of an Offering, or Vermilion Hereafter, with Attack Sands, Electro Damage Goblet, and Crit Rate Circlet. Constellations can be 0, but if you can get this to C6, you should, as this increases Oz's field presence by an additional 2 seconds, as well as the additional electro damage increase from Oz's joint attacks. Playstyle is very straightforward for this team, with you just initially starting the combat with Albedo, placing his skill on the field, and then subsequently dropping the other abilities from your teammates within Albedo's skill range to proc his ability. I usually prefer to use Xiangling after Albedo to drop Goba, and then switch to Shinobu to cast her healing, then switch to Fischl. By the time you get to Fischl, Goba would have disappeared and dropped the Hot Chili passive. Make sure Fischl gets this as she benefits from the attack buff greatly. Repeat the rotation and drop bursts when they are ready. Keep an eye out for Albedo's skill range and make sure enemies are within it. Being a Geoconstruct, sometimes enemies can destroy the skill as well, so make sure to recast it, although the short cooldown from this skill helps make it really easy to reposition. During this combo, a lot of Geocrystals are going to drop from Albedo, triggering the Crystallize reaction. You can use the shield drops to further improve survivability, while having Kuki Shinobu help keep the entire team's HP filled up. And there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this team showcase. For our video question, what name should we give this team? I personally call it the lazy team or the no normal attack team, but what would you call it? Let me know by dropping a comment down below. One lucky comment from this week's videos will receive a Blessing of the Welkin Moon at the end of the week. Winner will be announced via Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube post. That's it for today. Don't forget to drop a like, follow, and subscribe for more Genshin videos.